Greetings once again, mages out there. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with another chapter of Fairy Tale, the 100 Years Quest. While previously, Gray, Lucy, and Wendy found themselves trapped in the illusions of Raj, a fire mage who uses fire to cast illusion. And if you spend too long in his illusions, you'll be burned alive. Something that they caught on to in the fact that they started feeling hotter and hotter and hotter. The only ones able to see that something was going on were the only ones that Raj thought weren't worth his time, namely the cat, Happy and Carla. Seeing what was going on, they rushed out the back and onto the roof, catching Raj off guard and knocking him down to the ground, freeing everyone from his fiery illusion, giving Gray the opportunity to take him down for the count. A simple enough victory, but that's just one member of Fire and Flame. Who knows how many else are lurking out there? Join me as I find out what happens next, won't you? Alright, Fairy Tale, 100 Years Quest, Chapter 161, Flaming Reunion. And it's interesting to see Mest on the cover, the character who has had an interesting journey. I feel like his journey was a lot more interesting in terms of the anime than the manga though, because the anime added some much needed depth to his past. And it's honestly kind of tragic if you think about it fully. But let's jump into the chapter. The stripped down Gray and Lucy and Wendy, who have had their clothes partially burned off, look down in a bit of confusion at the unconscious Raj. Gray questions, what was this guy? And as Happy and Carla land on the ground, Happy states, a member of Fire and Flame. Carla adds, looks like he was using fire to show you illusion. Lucy questions, do all of them use fire magic? Well, Wendy states with apprehension, a bunch of Nazis. Gray starts to freak out saying, you're giving me the heebie-jeebies, Wendy. The Happy states, I'd be happy if Natsu multiplied. Though Carla says, yikes. Lucy starts to think of Aquarius, thinking, if only I still had Aquarius. I mean, yeah, her water would actually come in handy in this situation. It's actually wild that we still haven't run into her key. Suddenly there's an explosion in the distance, catching everyone's attention as Gray calls out, what was that? Gray says it came from the harbor, and Wendy calls out, Urza. They go jogging off, Gray saying, come on, hurry. Happy says, aye, sir. Though Lucy says, wait, let us get dressed first, since, Lucy and Wendy are still a bit scant when it comes to clothing. And as they leave Raj, she shows that he was kind of faking being unconscious, as he just laughs and says, interesting. Maybe he wasn't the jobber I thought he was. These Fire and Flame guys have fast recovery times. We then cut back over to the harbor, where Urza is still in pitched combat with Wed. Their blades clash again and again, and as Urza is knocked back, she uses Requip. She requips to Armadura Fairy. That's the pink armor, right? Oh, and uses Heavenly Body Magic and chant on her sword, much to Wed's shock. She comes racing in with Fairy Sword, Shooting Star, entering into a massive clash with Wed, who stands his ground. And as their swords clash, neither gives an inch. Wed tells her, you're fast, as he uses his knee to smack up her sword. He then ignites his blade, calls out his attack, Killer Flame, High King Sword, as a massive burst of fire is launched into the air with his blade. He brings it down, shattering the ground. Urza can only stand stunned as she's consumed in the blast. Oh geez, it even envelops the town. People go running to get out of the way, and through the wreckage, Urza, in pretty rough shape, staggers out. Her armor crumbles away. As she looks down, she says, my strongest armor. But Wed approaches and states, no, you're strongest when you're bare, I know. Oh god, Urza thinks of her, what's the armor called? Or the outfit, I should say. The seduction armor, that's right. Which is essentially just her in a panties, stockings, and adjusted apron. He always ends up thinking about this armor, some way, shape, or form. And then Wed interrupts her thoughts and he says, in only Hakama, which I guess is those pants she wears. This pulls Urza out of that fantasy as she says, it sounds like you've looked into me a lot. Wed states, Pandemonium, crushing the Scarlet Despair, and even beating the Signario sisters. Okay, so he's kept up with the Grand Magic Games, the fight against her mother, and even beating the Signaria. See, beating the Signaria sisters I understand, but dang. He bares his blade saying, "You're most certainly number one with a sword in Ishgal. My sword will cry if I don't cut you down. Now then." He readies himself, and so does Urza. Then suddenly a firebird comes racing in saying, "Fireboo! Weddy!" Weddy? This shocks both Wed and Urza, and as Urza looks up at it, she says, "A bird? A firebird?" It slams into the ground as Urza states it crashed. Wed addresses it as Misfortune, Dono. Master Misfortune? Urza questions Misfortune, and the figure gets up from where it landed saying, "Fireboo, got a message for you, Weddy." The heck? A fire cat? Is it an Exceed? What the hell am I looking at? Member of Fire and Flame, Misfortune. She gets up saying, "You gotta come home. It's starting sooner than we thought." Wed stays silent, though Urza questions, "A cat?" Misfortune addresses Urza saying, "Hey Urzi, I'm Misfortune. Nice to meet ya." Aw, she's so cute. Urza questions, "A happy made of fire?" Although Wed clenches his fist saying, "No, if that's happening, that's even more reason for me to settle this while I have the chance." We then cut over to the fire god's castle, where we see Brian and Lekka. Brian says, "We brought him, Master Ignia-sama." I don't like using the Japanese honorifics. It always sounds weird when I say it. Lekka says, "He was a hot one." And we see Ignia sitting on his throne. Total god complex. Brian tips his hat over, pokes at it a little bit, and a mouth appears on his hat and it coughs up Natsu. So weird. It comes tumbling out. Natsu gets angry saying, "What do you think you're doing, you jerks? Fine, I'll fight all three of you. Come at me together." But then he's shocked as he looks around, spotting Ignia, who says, "Welcome to my castle, Natsu Dragneel." Natsu questions Ignia, and as Ignia peers down at him, Natsu is flanked by Brian, Lekka, Lusso, and Annie. Ignia addresses Natsu saying, "I summoned you here to give you one last chance." Natsu questions, "Huh?" Ignia continues saying, "Natsu Dragneel, the wizard my father, Igneel, deemed worthy of his attention." He holds out a welcoming hand saying, "Would you like to join us?" Natsu questions, "What?" Ignia tells him, "The Dragon King Festival will soon begin. I'll permit you to join our side for it." Natsu questions, "The Dragon King Festival?" "Yeah, the last Dragon Festival we were a part of was not a good one." Ignia, still with the same smile, says, "Not the one you experienced. Yes, let's call this one the True Dragon King Festival." Natsu goes silent saying, "The True Dragon King Festival?" And as Ignia says, "Come, join us, Natsu. Let's destroy the humans together." But before he can finish, Natsu delivers a fiery punch right to Ignia's face, which, this leaves Brian, Lekka, Lusso, and Annie aghast, and as the smoke clears, Ignia says, "Ah, I see." Still with the same smile, Ignia tanks the punch with his forehead saying, "You're one of the humans we'll be destroying." I'm interested to see how this all goes down, because Ignia he's been built up to be so far out of Natsu's league. And despite how much Natsu has leveled up, and with Acnologia, it's not like Natsu beat him on his own, so it has to be a team effort. But are we gonna bring in all of the Dragon Slayers again? Because that's the only thing that would make any sense at this point. Not to mention we'd have more Dragon Slayers than before with the Diablos Guild, and Celine and Elfin Sarah and stuff like that, so it could make a good enough deal of sense. Although I don't know if Celine would want to tangle with Ignia again, considering how she almost died from the last encounter. Like, don't you kill off my Celine, man. Did Ignia think that Natsu would side with him, or was it just like a pleasantry? Was it just like, in honor of my father, I'll at least try extending the hand? But a Dragon King Festival, that just means a whole lot of bloodshed and a whole lot of humans dying, but there's also, during the Dragon King Festival, there were dragons who sided with the humans, not wanting humans to die. That's how Irene got her powers, as unfortunate the result of that as it was. But the question is also, how does Natsu get out of this situation? Will he be locked away? Will he be beaten down and thrown out, left for dead? Because it really does feel like, because of Natsu's relationship with Ignia is soft on him. Though he doesn't seem to want to portray that, there's a lot of stuff that leads me to think Ignia is soft on Natsu, because he's somewhat helped Natsu in the past. It's like he's trying to give Natsu a chance of taking him down, defeating him. There's a lot of things that keep pointing me to that feeling. But if that's the case, what is he doing all this for? To make Natsu stronger? To prove something to his father? Something about all this really does leave me questioning a lot of things. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Raj isn't down for the count, so he could still be a problem. Wedge wants to still continue his fight, but to what end? What's driving this quest to be the best? And why does Ignia even remotely think that Natsu would join him? Is there more to his request than meets the eye? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also remember to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you later. Till next time, take care. Bye-bye.